It's the end of the year. Let's look at the latest housing predictions from one of the more popular websites out there, Redfin. By the way, if you're here in the San Francisco Bay Area and if you're looking for a property, check out my website, www.myeastbayproperty.com. We never sell or share your information, unlike these big national websites like Redfin, Zillow, Realtor.com, etc. This is Redfin's most recent headline. Higher mortgage rates will end double-digit price growth and new listings will hit a 10-year high. Then they said this, editor's note, after two of the least predictable years in housing history, we predict that 2022 will be just as predictable, unquote. You know, I kind of disagree with this statement. Yes, 2020 was unpredictable, but 2021, not so much. I think if anything, 2021 was getting us back on track in terms of real estate timing and the number of transactions and what to expect this next couple of years. As for 2022 being unpredictable, I don't think so. We have all the data in front of us, and really the only thing that could derail this whole thing is some outside force that is not included in any of the models that experts use to predict or forecast. Think of a major disaster, war, or God forbid, some terrorist attack. Let's look at Redfin's 10 predictions, and I'll give you my comments and feedback as well as what I see in my local market. Prediction number 1, mortgage rates will rise to 3.6%, bringing price growth down to earth. I agree that the mortgage rates will rise. Every major outfit out there pretty much have interest rates going up this coming year. Mortgage rates are one of several factors that impact how much you can afford if you're buying a home. When rates are low, they help you get more house for your money. Within the last year, mortgage rates have hit the lowest point ever recorded, and they've hovered in historic low territory. But even over the past few weeks, rates have started to increase. If rates increase even a half a point or half a percentage over the next year, it will impact what you pay each month over the life of your loan, and that can really add up. So the reality is, as prices and mortgage rates increase, it will cost more to purchase a home. The second part of this prediction says that price growth will come down to earth. This is what they have to say about this. By winter, higher mortgage rates along with already high home prices will likely slow annual price growth down to around 3%, which represent a steep drop from the record 24% increase posted in May 2021. If annual price appreciation falls to 3%, it would only be the second time it will have fallen so low since the end of the housing crash in March of 2012. This low price growth will likely discourage speculators from entering the market and allow more first-time home buyers to have a chance at winning a home. What I want you to pay attention to is the word growth. They did not say prices will decline. They said price growth will come back down around 3%, which in the past we considered normal. I kind of agree with the part that price growth will slow down, but not as low as 3%. Take a look at these price forecasts from some of the leading real estate industry experts. Their forecast is averaging around 5%, and I think growth next year could be higher than that. Over here in the Bay Area, my gut feeling and experience tells me we could still be looking at double-digit appreciation. Our inventory problems or challenges were already there prior to the pandemic. The pandemic did not create this inventory shortage here in the Bay Area. And so far, from what I'm seeing, there's no change in the horizon. Check out these following graphs. I also want to share this. The last 3 times rates increased, shown here in the graph in the red, and sales depicted in blue in the blue graph, it remained rather consistent. It's true that sales fell rather dramatically from 2007 to 2010, but mortgage rates were also falling at that time. The next 2 instances showed no meaningful drop in sales. Now let's take a look at home price appreciation. Again, we see that the rise in rates didn't cause prices to depreciate. Outside of the years following the crash, prices continued to appreciate, just at a slower rate. Keep that in mind. Increasing prices might slow down, but still increasing. Prediction number 2, listings will hit a 10-year high, which will hardly make a dent in the ongoing supply shortage. Not sure about new listings hitting a 10-year high, but I definitely agree that it will hardly make a dent in the inventory shortage that we have. The thinking out there is that there are a lot of home sellers still on the sidelines because of the pandemic. Most likely these home sellers were or are scared of what is going on and put their plans on hold because of the pandemic. Now, because it seems like things are normalizing or we are getting used to this by now. Or maybe I think these people just has had enough and just want to get on with their lives. The thought is that more sellers will come on the market this next year. Another factor that could be or will be contributing to this increase in inventory are new homes. They are building homes as fast as they can to capitalize on all the demand that we have. However, labor shortages, delays in the supply chain challenges are all making it harder and more expensive to build new homes. Bottom line with this prediction is that yes, there will be more inventory, but not enough to affect prices. For my Bay Area peeps, I don't see any big change in the horizon, especially if you're going to look for new construction that is close to San Francisco, Oakland, or San Jose. You have to go at least an hour away to find new construction homes. Prediction number 3. Rents will increase by 7%. Not only will it increase, but it has already been increasing. As a matter of fact, these rent increases are actually driving a lot of renters to seriously consider buying a home in order for them to stabilize their monthly housing expense. Rents increasing each year isn't new. Looking back at the census data confirms rental prices have gone up consistently for decades. If you're a renter, you're faced with payments that continue to climb each year. Realtor.com recently shared the September rental report, and it shows price increases accelerating from August to September. Prediction number 4. Homebuyers will relocate to affordable cities like Columbus, Ohio, Indianapolis, and Harrisburg, Pennsylvania over the Sun Belt. I don't really know much about the places that they mentioned here. I can't really comment on it, but if we go by their data, these are some of the places that are popular. Locally here in the Bay Area, during the pandemic, there was a lot of talk about people moving out of San Francisco and out of state. The reality was that a huge majority of the people moving out of San Francisco were moving to the East Bay, just across the bridge. The number 1 destination was Alameda County, primarily because you get more for your money. I guess we can call that affordable. We can probably expect this trend to continue as more and more people are allowed or continue to work remotely. There will be more demand in cheaper areas. However, I don't think we see the same intensity as we did during the pandemic first started. Prediction number 5. People will vote with their feet, moving to places that align with their politics. I'd argue that this has been always the case. Whether it's a conscious decision or unconscious, people move to places because something attracts them to these particular places. It's probably more at the forefront right now because all the divisiveness that we see on the news. Also, with more mobile workforce, this gives home buyers another factor that could sway their home buying decision. I'll even add to this, trying to get away not only from geopolitical issues, but also natural disaster-prone areas. Here in California and in the West, wildfires. Prediction number 6. Condo demand will take off in 2022. Redfin says that dense housing will make a comeback. They believe that more home buyers might be open to buying a condo or townhouse as opposed to a more expensive single-family detached home. During the pandemic, there was a conscious effort on most buyers' part staying away from condos and townhomes, as many buyers were looking for more space, outdoor space to be exact. According to their latest data, the search for single-family detached homes went down while search for condos and townhomes went up. Locally, I am seeing the opposite or experiencing the opposite. Maybe their data shows more people are searching for condos and townhomes right now, but right now it's not translating to actual sales, at least locally. Part of that reason is that HOA fees have been so expensive. Recently, I sold a condo in Oakland that had an HOA of $800 a month. Nowadays, a monthly HOA amount of anything less than $500 is normal. I think this is the biggest turnoff for condo and townhouse buyers. Number 7, home buyers will take climate risk seriously. I don't know about this one. I feel like Redfin just threw this in there because it's one of those hot button issues nowadays. Floods, fire hazard, and other natural disasters have been part of the real estate disclosure here in California ever since I became a real estate broker. Fire is definitely a big concern here in California, as I have mentioned. There are homes that before I show my clients, I would tell them or give them an estimate of how much fire insurance would cost, especially if it's considered in high fire danger areas. Again, probably more on the forefront of things right now because it keeps getting magnified in the media. Prediction number 8, housing policy will become central to political battles about climate change. Personally, I think a lot of this is lip service and it always gets watered down when Congress passes laws. The reality is that it comes down to who wants to pay for it. While we do have to build better with the environment in mind. It really starts with changing or upgrading what we currently have, and then not build in places that are susceptible or puts the environment in at a disadvantage. Old homes being upgraded and more energy efficient is a start. But the reality is that converting an old house or upgrading an old house to become more energy efficient and water efficient is not cheap. In most cases, there's no incentive for the homeowner for going green because there are no cost savings or it's cost prohibitive. Then there's this constant building of communities and places that we shouldn't be building. Why are we building communities in the middle of the desert and then wonder 30 years later that there might not be enough water? Prediction number 9. iBuyers will focus on perfecting a niche service instead of market domination. If you don't know what an iBuyer is, here's what Google says. iBuyers are companies that have the financial means to buy homes in cash. iBuyers are not new. This is just another one of those buzzwords that marketing people came up with. iBuyers are simply investors. They have been around since forever. It only became, I guess you can call it popular, when Zillow, Redfin, and other big companies made it this new big thing. Essentially, they saw how real estate was very lucrative, so they threw in a bunch of technology behind it and came up with iBuyer. Kind of like the iPhone, only crappier in my opinion. There is a market for so-called iBuyers or investors. Always have and always will. Even in a hot market like we've had in the last couple of years, there are sellers out there that will need to sell ASAP. They may be more concerned about timing or terms rather than getting top dollar. It could be the property is in desperate need of repair, or there are more personal issues that the seller or sellers are going through that the needs for cash is right away. There will always be these types of sellers. I sold a property in San Jose this year that fell into this category. House was falling apart and the owners just wanted to cash out. Brought in several of my my iBuyers, and they offered cash, close in 7 days, and the sellers didn't have to do anything, even clean up. By the way, these online investors or iBuyers, as they call it, they have certain limitations in terms of the type of properties that they can buy. The property that I just described to you won't qualify with most online iBuyers. With my iBuyers, we buy any type of property. So if you have a property that you're looking to sell in need of cash right away, call me, text me, email me. Finally, prediction number 10, the DOJ will crack down on how real estate agents are paid. Listen, the big key thing here that stuck out to me is that they said the possibility that the buyers will eventually have to pay upfront for their agent instead of the more common setup now where the seller pays the commission for both the buy side and the sell side agent at closing. I think in theory, this is good. Transparency is always good. The real estate industry, for all the good that it has done, still needs to make the next move forward. I think what we have to latch onto with these Redfin predictions, or even whatever other home projection or forecast that is out there, is that housing prices are not going down anytime soon. If you've been thinking of buying a house, how much longer should you continue to wait? Prices keep going up, interest rates are also going up, so you end up paying more, if not getting priced out of the neighborhoods that you choose. The one good news is that at least the price increases are slowing down. There you go. I hope you got some useful tidbits watching this video. Get in touch with your local expert to help you navigate this crazy landscape. I promise you, working with a true professional will make it smoother. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.